And welcome back in. I hope the festive season is doing you good. Hope you're having a great time. And I hope you're not snowed in like we were. Oh, my life. 5 feet of snow all around the place. We cleared it up with a massive tractor, like you saw in the last video. But today, what we're going to concentrate on again is top 10 EPL. We'll look at the relegation. Then we're going to go down a league again. And we'll start looking at the championship. It's always good to follow the championship teams before three, get promoted to the EPL. Then you kind of know what's going on. Otherwise, like a lot of people, you see three new teams and you know nothing about them. I'm going to keep you involved. I'm going to keep you in the know where the championship teams are concerned when they get ready to get promoted. And like I say, we'll get to that first. But first of all, EPL, top 10, then a relegation. Then we're looking at the games coming through for EPL. Then we're looking at the championship. Then we're looking at the games from the championship. So let's get straight into this.
This is Ultimate Soccer with Soccer Steve.
So that's what we're talking about. Now take a look at the scores from EPL just gone by. 3 seconds are up. I'm coming back. Pause it longer if you want to take time. I'll still be there when you come back. Looking at the top of the table, top to bottom, the top four, obviously Arsenal's still in first place. And like I say, how long can they keep that massive form going? 13-1-1 on the season so far. I'm going to say that, it's going to be pretty tough to keep that going. But you never know. It's Man City again, following in behind, 5 points behind Arsenal on 40, City on 35, both on 15 games. City's drawn 2, lost 2, and won 11. You've got to say, I think that where Man City's concerned, it's going to be theirs at the end of the season. I think that they can keep this pace going. And I think that if Arsenal get a couple of injuries in key positions, and not necessarily just the guys up front, but probably defenders as well, and Ramsdale needs to be in electric form in the games that are tough. When they play the top 6 teams, that's where this league is going to be decided. If you look back in time, Man City has been doing this now for a few years. I got to say, for me, I'd like to see another team win the league. It's good for the league. But I got to think that Man City's got this one in the bag as we move forward. Only Man City can stop Man City. And Haaland, just one thing. Today, the final game we're going to look at. Leeds 1, Man City 3. 2 goals by Erling Haaland. Fastest man ever in history to get 20 goals in the English top flight. Now it's the Premier League. It used to be the First Division. Well, back in 1999, Kevin Phillips, a Sunderland player, 1999-2000 season, Kevin Phillips scored 20 goals in 21 games. People said, wow, this is unbelievable. Erling Haaland, 20 goals in 14 games. Prediction, he's north of 45 goals on the EPL season. I'm saying that right now. He's north of 45 on the EPL season. Erling Haaland. But Man City, for me, are going to win it. Newcastle in third. I'll tell you what, 33 points, chasing down Arsenal, 7 points behind. But you've got to say, Eddie Howe, the next England manager. If England had Eddie Howe in charge of that national team, I think they get to the semi-finals and anything can happen. Not like Southgate that can keep on losing and keeps his job. What a disaster. Anyway, I want better for England. I want better for every team. When I see a fault or a weak spot, it could be any position on the field. But if it's the coach and he's gone over 2 to 3 years and people don't listen to him anymore, like with Southgate, oh, he's a nice guy and he's got nice guys playing for him. There are no nice guys that win things, really. It's a sad statement. This is not a great statement either. But nice guys don't always win. It's guys that are ruthless. Man City's got plenty of ruthless players. Just take a look at how they play when they give you the boots and not the skill. Now, in fourth place, Tottenham Hotspur. I don't know that Tottenham are going to stay in the top 4. I got to think, Man United and Liverpool are chasing pretty hard. I got to think that Tottenham are going to slip out. Conte, the coach, why did you ever take this job? This does nothing for your career. Really, Conte, why did he take the job? It's got to be money. It's got to be money. It can't be anything else. No disrespect, Tottenham fans, but you're not quite a fourth place team yet. I know you've been in Champions League before and you've been able to get there. But from what I see now, I think with Man United in 5th and Liverpool in 6th, and really, they're only a handful of points behind you. I got to say, United are 1 point beyond Tottenham. Liverpool are 5 points behind Tottenham. I expect in the next 5 to 6 weeks to see Tottenham go to 6th. Man United and Liverpool duke it out for 4th and possibly 5th. But I expect United and Liverpool to move above Tottenham Hotspur moving forward. Brighton, Chelsea battling out, both 24 points. Graham Potter must have thought, why did I leave Chelsea? Because Brighton are right up my ass. And we're no better than them at the moment. And Chelsea, another injury worry. Yeah, another injury worry coming through for them. But hey, at the end of the day, you've got a squad of players to get you through. Fulham and Brentford rounding out the top 10. Brentford 8 draws on the season. They're in the top 10 and they've only got 4 wins. Only 4 wins. I'm seeing this play out, as I just said, for the rest of the season. And I do see Man City getting back on top. And once they do go back on top, like a couple of seasons ago when they were duking it out with Liverpool, they won't slow down and they will set a big gap between them and the next guys. And Arsenal, I tell you now, it'd be lovely to see you win the league, but I got a hunch you might be falling. And if the form really hits rock bottom, you could so easily slip out of the top 4 into 5th or 6th. This is going to be a really interesting season for Arsenal and Arteta to see whether they've got the capability, the class, and the work and effort to make it happen. It's 38 games. And by the way, nobody ever won the EPL's title at Christmas, New Year, January, February, March, April. It happens in May. That's where we've got to get to. Now, let's take a look at the games coming through. Here's the schedule for the next group of games. Looking on the scoreboard here, out of those games coming through, West Ham, Brentford, Liverpool, Leicester. Liverpool got to get 3 points there. Wolves, Man United. Wolves bouncing back. Are United going to get the first loss in a few games on the road again, where their last season, Manchester were very good. Man City at home to Everton. 3 points, Man City. Everton, I've got to worry about you guys going down. Fulham taking on Southampton. Bournemouth, Crystal Palace. All teams going nowhere, but Fulham doing a great job so far. Newcastle United. I've got to love the story with Newcastle United, man. They've got better player acquisitions than Manchester United, and they've not wasted anywhere near the amount of money, and they've got a better ownership group. Look for a great future for Newcastle United. Can they depose Manchester City, Liverpool? I say they can, and they've got to bring more players in. But right now, a little over a year with the new ownership, they're on the right track. I tell you now, they're on the right track. And ever since they did the hirings and firings and got Eddie Howe into that job, wow, Newcastle, they're 3rd in the league, and they're already secure for next season's football. They have not ever done that in the Premier League this fast ever. Unbelievable. Even when they were at top of the table many moons ago in the 90s, it didn't start out this good. Eddie Howe, wow. Now, Brighton taking on the Arsenal. That's a tricky game for Arsenal, I tell you now. Not so tricky, but very tricky. I could see Brighton getting a result here. And I tell you what, it's on the cards. Arsenal, tough game on the weekend at Brighton. Tottenham Hotspur taking on Aston Villa. Should be a win for Tottenham. Aston Villa got some good form. Unai Emery, another coach. Why did you take this job? Really, why? It's got to be money. It's purely dinero. It's lots of geld. It's certainly not the club, and it's certainly not the league that's got him here. It's got to be money. He's in for the fast repair, and I probably expect him to leave pretty much by the end of the season. I don't think this is a long-term appointment. And again, I've got to say, why would he take the job? And then finally, Nottingham Forest taking on Chelsea. It's going to be a long day for Forest. I expect a Chelsea victory, maybe a 1-0 or a 2-1. But you couldn't really look away from Forest pulling a surprise. The only thing with Forest is up front, they're a little bit weak. Onowi and Johnson really not doing it for me. I think there's a lot more coming out of the midfield than is on the offense, and they're looking a little bit featherweights. There's no punch in Nottingham Forest's attack. I'd love to see that change. Steve Cook doing a great job last year, doing a decent job so far. They're still in this. There's only 5 points separates all the bottom 8. So you've got to say he's in there with a fighting chance. As long as Forest stay in touch, minimum 3 points from guys above the drop zone, they got a chance of getting out of trouble. But there's your weekend games in the EPL. Tell me what you're thinking about your team in the EPL, and take a look at the relegation picture as we move on to the Championship. So there's the EPL. Here's the Championship. Take a look at those scores from last weekend, and let's get straight into the table, because I tell you what, there's lots happening. Let's get back in the chair. I tell you, this league, I said it last week, that before we move on, Wolverhampton Wanderers from the relegation you just saw that go through, they did move off the bottom. 2 points off the bottom. Wolves will not be relegated. They're going to finish at least mid-table, and they're going to take probably West Ham along with them, moving out, and Leicester as well moving out. I'm worried about West Ham. Definitely worried about West Ham. Southampton, you're in perilous trouble. I can't believe why West Ham are down so low, but Forest, Southampton, you guys are in trouble. Now, staying with the Championship, the way I see it, Burnley, definitely, week to week, Vincent Kompany gets this team ready to go. They draw, they win, they draw. Not very many losses, only 2 on the season from 24. But Sheffield United are keeping pace. Sheffield United now, 14 games on the season, wins from 24. They're keeping pace with Burnley. If they can keep pace and use Burnley as the marching hare down the racecourse to chase, it'll give them that impetus that they don't normally have. They've got to have something to aim for. Burnley is definitely a good aim. On 50 points right now, Burnley on top. Sheffield United on 47. Stay in touch with Burnley. Sheffield United guarantees themselves with promotion. Now, down below them, Blackburn Rovers, Watford, Norwich City, Millwall. All 4 of those are capable of winning the playoffs. But you've got to say with Blackburn, they lose a lot of games. 11 losses on 24 games. 13 wins. That's the only reason why they're in the top 4 is because of the 13 wins. They're third right now. You've got to think that any of them 4 can get it. Moving into the bottom end of the top 10, we had 2 guys slide out. Swansea City and Birmingham have slid out of the top 10. Moving into the top 10 now, you got Sunderland and Reading. Sunderland, Junior Hoilett, 50 games on the career right now for where he's at with Reading. So 50 games, 4 goals all time. 50 games, 4 goals all time, believe in 23 games this year and 1 goal. Junior Hoilett. We've also got Teo Corbeau with Blackpool. They're a bit further down. Man, oh man, oh man. I'll tell you what, keep your eyes on Teo Corbeau. Both Canadians. You know Junior Hoilett. Well, this is Teo Corbeau, also a Canadian. Keep your eyes on him. He's one for the future. I'm telling you now. He's definitely one for the future. I personally expect him to get a big contract and move up. Maybe into the Premier League or maybe going lateral into Europe. Another thing about Canadian players, Alistair Johnston signing for Celtic on January 1st, right? Here's the deal. Had we have had a decent World Cup, I see more contracts coming in for the Canadian players. We didn't have a terrible World Cup. It was reality what happened to us, as sad as it was. But because we didn't hit everything on par, that's why people didn't come in for too many of our guys. Now, Jonathan David. What's he looking like after the World Cup? You see my point? Right. So right now, Alistair Johnston signing for Celtic, Glasgow Celtic up in Scotland. It's going to be a great time for Alistair. He's got the right kind of name, isn't he? Sounds Scottish, doesn't it? Alistair Johnston. So he's in the right place. With this top 10 in the Championship, like I say, top 2 going through. If I had to pick one right now to join them, and by the way, Dean Smith from Norwich City, the coach, got fired yesterday. You got fired and you're in 5th in the league. That'll tell you how Delia, the owner, she's a great cook. Watch TV in the UK, you'll know what I'm saying. But Delia Smith, the owner, in 5th, fires the coach because it ain't good enough. And they're 15 points off the top and they're 12 points out of regular guaranteed promotion. So they're a playoff team, but they fired the coach. That's pretty harsh, but that's reality. It's a results-based business. Now, that's what we got in store for you. Moving along, let's take a look at the Championship games coming through. Okay, so you saw the pictures there of the schedule coming up for the Championship. There's 5 games I want to home in on. The first one is Stoke City versus Burnley. I expect Burnley just to take the short little trip across to Stoke and grab 3 points. In a nutshell, Stoke City are in trouble. And that's a big Premier League club from not so long ago that's probably never getting out of this league again, the way things are going. So money's tight in the UK with the football. You don't know all about this, but there's a lot of financial problems in the leagues right now. Not so much at the top league, but in the football leagues, money is tight. So you can't be bringing too many players in. Stoke, Burnley still have a Premier League team from last year, hence they're going up. 3-0 on the road, possibly for Burnley. If not, it's going to be a tough battle 2-1. Now, Swansea taking on Watford. Watford need this win. If they lose again, form's against them, they're probably going to miss out and end up being the playoff club that they don't want to be. They want automatic promotion. That's what they're looking for. I don't think they're going to get it. Norwich City Fired Dean Smith taking on Reading. Our own Junior Hoylett on the field. Wouldn't it be lovely if Junior gets a goal? So Norwich fire the coach looking for a rebounder. Or Reading going into Norwich's Carrow Road Stadium and taking the 3 points. Finally, Blackpool as well, with Theo Corbeau, another Canadian, taking on Sheffield United. This is going to be a tough game for Blackpool, I tell you now. Sheffield United, they're on form, and I expect at least a draw for Sheffield, if not the win. But Blackpool can take a big team down once in a while. And the last game is Blackburn, taking on Middlesbrough. Blackburn lose a lot, win a lot, lose a lot, win a lot. Middlesbrough recently had a good 4-1 home win in the last game. It's going to be interesting. You wouldn't be surprised if Middlesbrough got a draw to win, but you got to expect Blackburn to win it all. Okay, guys, keep it here. As we move through, we'll bring in loads more of the EPL and the Championship. Next time I talk to you on this will be the 2nd of January, lining you up for more games. And I tell you what, the predictions that I brought you so far are working out. What are your predictions for the EPL and the Championship? Let me know down below, guys. FIFAscup@gmail.com. Anytime, anywhere, let me know. By the way, I'm under the weather. I caught the plague. Yeah, and I'm doing okay, but boy, oh boy, oh boy. Get your NyQuil. Get whatever you need to get right. And don't let a cold knock you off track. I'm not. Okay, guys, take it easy. Have fun. I know I probably have gone on a little bit, but it's all good information and it's all for you. So comment down below what you think about who's going to win the league, who's going up, who's going down, who's getting relegated. Let's have some fun together and let's know what you're thinking. Okay, guys, take it easy. Have a great day. Don't let anyone bend it up. Cheers.
The Ultimate Soccer Show. Join me. Listen. You'll love it. Everybody does.